Nothing. Like, go find something where you know something deep about. Right? You might apply it in some other area, right? But you got to have some depth. Right? And you might get lucky if you write the next whatever Angry Birds game, but you have no idea about something, right? About game writing either. So you have to have some depth, whatever it is. And in my prediction is that the game is going to be played now with people with increasing depth, and that's where you're going to have less competition, and that's where you're going to create serious startups. You got to associate yourself with the best people. My partner Shripati, great guy. We've been partners. We started Snapfish together. We were at UID with Nandan together. We're doing this together. You know what? You do need other people. You can't do your own. You have leverage. You need multiple people, and you need to have multiple great people. And you got to fail early, right? Try a lot of stuff, fail quickly, and learn the right lessons, and move on. Roll early, roll often. This is like rolling the dice. Very, very important. There's one thing you remember from this whole talk. Please remember this one. Roll early and roll often. Okay? And I'll just stop at this slide. I don't want to talk to it. It's kind of obvious. So let me take questions, if there's any. I feel like I've been talking forever. No questions? Obvious? Good. Roll early is basically early in your life, right? So the thing is, a lot of people say, I'm going to become an entrepreneur when I'm 40. By the time you're 40, your life gets super complicated, right? Complexity in your life monotonically increases. And then there's a step function when you get married, another step function when you get children, right? All kinds of stuff happens. Your age happens, your parents get old, your risk tolerance comes down, all kinds of bad stuff happens. So roll early in life. And roll often is, something doesn't work, quit, try again. If you don't like a job, don't hang out there for 3 years and bitch about it. Quit.
Does that help you get more perspective in life? I think you talked about a lot of things that an entrepreneur has to learn in a state to think. So if you have maybe then you would probably have ended up doing a lot of other things.
So I like to think that. What I did do is that I kind of did a survey. So I pinged all these guys I pinged all my classmates. I gave them a little questionnaire for this talk, for that question. So I said, what is your CGPA, and what are you doing in life, etc. So the short answer, what I found from the data, if you believe a sample of 40 out of 200 is a sample. So again, I'm not claiming to be scientific at all, but out of this, the truth is there is no correlation between low GPA and doing well in life, or doing well in life as defined by my goals. So I don't want to overstate that either. So the truth is there is no correlation. Is there a correlation by doing other stuff in life? I believe so. I would like to think so. Yeah, absolutely. Especially with things like communicating skills. You're sitting joblessly, and I was sitting with these guys, hanging out and talking about all kinds of stuff. I think it helps in some ways. I don't know how to quantify it and answer it scientifically, because I don't think it can be, but I think so, because you are doing something else. Both. So ultimately, it doesn't matter where the inspiration comes from, right? And this particular idea we kind of started just before Square was announced. I didn't know about it. I knew the Square co-founder, and so once we started the idea, we were kind of working on this, and then he talked about this idea. I was at a conference in the US, and I said, hey, why don't you just give me a license to this, and we'll do this in India. And he said, look, I have so busy right now, this won't work. I don't have time to sort of license it to you. And I said, it's okay, we'll just do it ourselves. So we kind of rebuilt it. So it is part inspiration, part copy, how you want to, part sort of inspired by something else. The truth is there is no straight answer to that one. It can come either way. But what does matter is that once you have the idea, how to take it and validate it, that's like the important part. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, as it started, that good artists copy great artists, and usually the businesses that we see today are mostly inspired and better taste and have better.
It comes both ways, I would say. Because the problem with copying, especially in India, is that you'll find like 20 people, right? There's an Airbnb, there are 20 Airbnbs, right? So there is one idea, there'll be like, there's Uber, there are 20 Ubers. You know, I mean, any idea, especially from our successful companies, there are 15 Squires, by the way. It's not the only product. It's just that this is, you know, much more deeper, and so we are more successful than other ones. But that's the problem with copying. But again, there is no straight answer to that question. There are sometimes when you copy and do better. It depends on what your strengths are also. Right? If you are very strong at execution, you have a good team, you can copy and outrun everybody else. But a lot of times you need to understand the customer, the ground level stuff, and then customize accordingly.
It's a brilliant idea. But you don't want to go around telling every one of your friends, because, like you said, the competition is high.
Yes.
They might tell it to your face that, okay, this is not going to work, but you won't know what they're going to believe. I mean, they are your friends, but still, making money is important, right?
Absolutely. So his question is, if you're saying copy, but everybody, if you start telling around your friends, people will copy from you. Is that right? Yeah, of course it's right. Especially your friends will copy from you. But others will copy from you too, not just your friends.
Yeah.
Look, that's what, this, as I said, this is not an easy game to play, right? So the only answer to that question is that you run faster and smarter, right? So there are 15 Squires. I mean, the reason I picked this is a visual example, but it's also a good example in the sense that this is happening right now, right? And so there are 15 Squires. Let me actually give you a very more detailed example than you might want to hear. But so there are 15 Squires, but this is the only one actually made in India. So we have some advantages: A, in the cost, because everybody else is licensing a technology, and B, in the software that we built on the cloud to support this. So for example, we have this is customizable. So before and after the swipe of the credit card, you can make a call to the server of the other guy, to Flipkart. So Flipkart can pre-populate before I swipe the credit card and after I swipe the credit card. Okay. So for example, they can post a thank you to the customer, or they can post some other information to the guy who's the guy who's running around doing this dongle. So because of the fact that we built it in-house, we have the ability to pre and post process on every transaction, and that gives us an advantage over all the other 14 guys who cannot do that. So the answer is, the devil is in the details, where you try to distinguish, do something different, and definitely run faster. Now you work 23 hours a day. The other guy is only working 20.
Yeah, another question. Like, you call yourself a serial entrepreneur. Would you say that there's a difference with calling yourself an entrepreneur and a serial entrepreneur? Like, for example, this device, right? You so oftenly mention Flipkart. So your business kind of, runs on the way. Suppose Flipkart falls tomorrow, then I wouldn't say your product will completely fall, because there'll be some other online retailer who's going to use this. But still, like, when you look at a business or something like that, do you look at it from a viewpoint that my thing is going to support this until this stands, and then I'm going to take my cash and get away? Or do you start with an aim to go high, and then it so happens that you sell it out and go into another business?
Very good question. First of all, serial entrepreneur sounds like a serial killer almost, but I don't like it. But there's only one way to start a business. You don't think of selling. Okay. Of course, if somebody puts $300 million on the table, you'll take it. I mean, you're not stupid, but you should not start with the notion of selling. I hate that idea. Everybody knows that at some point of time you will do that. So that's one part of the answer. The other part of your question is, what happens if Flipkart doesn't? So this was not built around Flipkart at all. That's one of the smaller actually customers for this product. But your general point, you do want to build a business that is sustainable, right? That doesn't disappear if one customer fails. But it's hard to do that when you're a startup. So your first customer fails, you will get screwed. But that's a part of what you need to run fast about. So you need to have multiple legs, or one leg breaks, other leg will, will hold, support you. But the serial entrepreneur is usually referred to as somebody who does multiple startups one after the other. I think you know that, but yeah.
You said we have been in the right geography, right? Assuming we move to the US, what would be the best option and where?
Nowhere else. Yeah, absolutely. And don't even go beyond like San Jose. One of my biggest regrets in life is that I started my first company in Santa Cruz, because I love Santa Cruz. It's a beautiful place. Dr. Nagaraj has been there, he probably can tell you. It's a lovely, chilled out, nice place where I went to university, so I thought it was kind of cool to hang out there. Bad idea. And it's, 20 minutes, 30 minutes away. Okay, so make sure you don't go, actually try to go to Palo Alto if possible. Like, don't even go anywhere else. So, but I'm exaggerating. So Fremont, I mean, it's microclimates, believe me. The venture capitalists in the Silicon Valley will not invest in Los Angeles.
So, recommend, say, learning more, going and doing 1 or 2 degrees, getting to know some subject very deeply, and then start up a product that is going to change the world, or start up very soon a venture, take a risk? Or do you think the impact will be lower because obviously, like you said, we don't have enough experiences to shape a very good idea? So would it make more sense to stock up more degrees, learn more?
I get it. It's a great question. So, I mean, like with all good questions, there's not like a crisp answer because I don't know you and I don't know the details. I don't think it's definitely a bad idea at all to go and actually go deep on one thing and go to a good university, get a good degree. It's probably a good idea. However, you could. The only challenge I would say is that the process kind of taints you, because when you hang out there, you're chilling, and then you might like wander away. So make sure you go to the right university if you want to go that route. Obviously, there are enough startups which have been started by people who kind of found their way. But given where India is right now, I don't know, which year are you in? Third year. So my suspicion is that by the time you finish the 4th year, there'll be like the Flipkart, for example, right? You don't need to have a PhD in computer science to start Flipkart. Those are very smart guys, and they've done an amazing job, but it's not a deep computer science degree thing, right? Now, those plays are getting taken up very fast, right? Because the amount of money that is getting poured in, it's unbelievable. So my bias, this is a very broad advice, is that you have to go deeper. The later you go in startups, you have to go deeper because the simple ones are getting taken, right? There are like 15 Airbnbs in India. There are like 20 people doing education on their tablet. Okay? I mean, literally, I think if I made like 1,000 rupees on everybody who walked into my office wanting a tablet education idea, I think I'll be a millionaire. So I should maybe start charging for it. But this is very crowded. The obvious ones are getting very crowded. Let me just see if there's anybody else with a question. I'm happy to take a question. Anybody else in the back? Are you guys all still sleeping? Yeah. No, you should not. If you have one, it's guaranteed to fail because you're always like, tentative. You have to jump, which is the point behind this particular slide. I did have a contingency parachute on this one. By the way, I do want to tell you one thing. So the last time I gave this kind of advice about doing this kind of stuff to my cousin, my nephew, I got an earful from my cousin. So do talk to your parents and other people. I'm not asking you to run around, hiking up the Himalayas. So, so just be careful. My cousin is still not like talking to me because she thinks I gave terrible advice to my nephew. So.